What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is Monday edition. It is July 28th. This is your first look brought to you by FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So what we do, if you've never seen these videos before, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hopefully the algorithm has treated you well. Hopefully this is your last stop that you need for DFS. So what we do is, I've already ran 10,000 simulations in the background. We do 20,000 a day. We're giving you your first look. What makes us different? First off, I'm not going to lie to you. Secondly, I'm going to tell you when I'm wrong if I choose a certain pitcher. Sunday edition, I was all over Zach Wheeler. When we talked about it and we had our Discord, I said maybe you go with, if you want to go very contrarian, a Yankee stack would make sense because Wheeler's going to be the highest owned. He gave up some early runs. What we do is we go game by game. We're going to do the 3-game early slate, the 12-game main slate. We're going to look at all of the pitchers, and then we're going to look upwards from top 3 to top 5 bats on each team in each game every single day that you guys are here. So another thing that makes us a little bit different or separates us, we try to have giveaways every single day. There are 2 ways to win in these videos completely free. All you got to do, like the video, be a subscriber to the channel, and you got to leave a comment on this video. You do all 3 of those, and this video gets at least 50 likes. You will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. Now, that is a week of all sports. So current sports, MLB, NASCAR, PGA, MMA. We're very close to NFL. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you will have a chance at a free month. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes on the video, a chance at a lifetime pass. And the second way to win, somewhere in this video, there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Listen for it, type it in, and have your second shot. So we got to get these before the main slate locks. So they lock, when the main slate locks, that is when the likes, the videos, the views, all of that locks. So we're going to see who the 1 or 2 winners are from yesterday's video. We had 1,200 plus views, 127 likes. So right now, even if the keyword is in this first comment, we're going to re-roll it for a keyword. This is for a free month of getting over 100 likes on the video. And the winner is Stephen Breton, 4855. So congratulations, Stephen. All you got to do is email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. In the subject line, say you are the 727 video likes winner. Let me know if you have an account on FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If you do not, all you got to do, hit me up with a username, email, and a password, and we will set you up for a free week. Now, the keyword was not in that comment, so we are going to re-roll it anyway. And see, Stephen, had you put your comment, had you put the keyword in this comment right here, you would have won 5 weeks of a free pass. So that is why I tell you, if you guys are here, make sure you get that comment and that keyword in the one comment. There you go. Injin Shim. I think you've won before, and I think I've messed this name up before, but congratulations to you. Please email me, subject line 727 keyword winner for your free week. Now let me know if you have an account on the site. If not, I will need all your information. So we are going to use FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. That's us. We're going to use Outlier. So if you have never checked out Outlier before, click the link down below. It will be set up all for you. You get a 7-day free trial to their premium package. It's really useful for sports betting, but we do like it for DFS as well. So after we go through all 15 games, which is a weird slate on a Monday. Usually we don't have 15 games. We are going to go through our other stats. So what we have is we have our matchup tool. So we're going to give you all the batters with a 10 out of 10 matchup rating, followed by pitches be crazy. And then the final segment, Makin Bacon, where we look at sports bets, some of our favorite sports bets of the day. So stick around. Let's get ready. Let's rock and roll, and let's have some fun for a Monday. It's a pretty good slate overall. So just kind of looking at some of the ballpark factors for today, we're not going to take in weather. We're just going to look at the wind instead of if there's any rain. We've got some good odds here. So we got the Dodgers in Cincy. It's hot, humid, very sticky out there, meaning the ball will fly out of there. They have a 41% chance of home runs for that game. You've got next up, Guaranteed Rate Field, Philly going into the White Sox, 38% chance of home runs. American Family Field, the Cubs are against the Brewers. We're looking at a 34% chance of home runs there. Huge numbers there. Then we got Yankee Stadium, Tampa Bay visiting New York, 22% chance of home runs. Then we have Progressive Field, Colorado at Cleveland has a 16% chance of home runs in the ballpark there. So those are the big ones as of now that have the biggest odds for home runs. Now, obviously, those can change throughout the day. Weather, wind, rain, anything can happen during that day. So we got Toronto at Baltimore. We got Chris Bassett versus Zach Eflin. So Bassett's coming in here. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at all of them. So he comes in with 3.88 ERA, is coming off back-to-back 20-plus outings there, 28.1 against the Yankees, 7.1 innings, 3 home runs, all solo shots with 8 Ks. You look at his splits. He has faced Baltimore this year. Obviously, Baltimore's not a very good team this year. Toronto's got a 6.5 game lead, I think, in the division already, which is wild. But we look at this. He's dominated them before. He got 23.5. If you are new to the channel on DraftKings, kind of our target demographic type, target, if you're trying to build like a target lineup, look for your pitchers on DraftKings, since you have 2 of them, between 20 to 30 fantasy points. On FanDuel, you basically need about 40 to 50 because you only have 1 pitcher there. So then we break it down a little bit further. He's already faced Baltimore once this year. He has had success. When he pitches on the road, though, he does have a 5.66 ERA compared to a 2.65 at home, okay? So that's a little bit different. That's that's 3 more earned runs a game he has given up on the road. So it's always something you want to look at, especially in this ballpark. Now, I know Baltimore has been pretty bad. They did put up a ton of runs against Colorado. Colorado's obviously a very bad team. Then you got Zach Eflin. Eflin's coming in, if it loads, 5.78 ERA, very high ERA. Missed almost a month, came back, had 15.45 against Cleveland. Splits-wise, he has faced Toronto this year, 6 innings, 2 earned runs with only 2 strikeouts, so it's very low. He had 15.7, which is okay, but the way Toronto's been going, it's very hard to want to take either of those guys. But, as good as the teams are, obviously you got to get a little different when you're building your lineup, so Eflin could make a little bit of sense. He has had success against them, but Toronto was playing very bad baseball to begin the season. They're playing very good baseball now. It depends which Toronto team you're going to get. So if we just look at Toronto bats against Eflin, Barger has a home run, Vladdy has 2, and Springer has 1. Against righties, though, not as well, but if I'm taking top 3 bats here, I'm looking at George Springer, batting .310 with 11 bombs. I'm looking at Bo Bichette, batting .281 with 10 home runs. I'm looking at Barger, batting .287 with 13. If you want to go even more, Alejandro Kirk and Vladdy would make sense for me as well. Now, if you don't trust Bassett and you want to go with Baltimore, Gunnar has 2 home runs against him. Holiday has a home run against him. O'Hearn, Urias, and Laureano all have home runs against him, and he is worse on the road. So, if you're stacking here, I'm looking at Gunnar, I'm looking at Holiday, I'm looking at O'Hearn, I'm looking at Jordan Westberg. I'm probably looking at Ramon Laureano as well, who has double-digit home runs against righties. So it is an early slate. You got to get a little bit different when it is early. Not the best odds, but, you can see Bassett's there, but I kind of like Casey Mize. Ciccone, they're all in a good spot here. So Colorado versus Cleveland. Slade Ciccone, 3.76 ERA. Obviously, he had faced Colorado in his career because he was in Arizona. They were in the same division. This year, he's pitching at home, 4.98. It's almost a 5 ERA. It is Colorado. I get that. Then you got Blaylock. Blaylock has an 8.67 ERA. He's going 5 innings. He is going into these games, but he's given up earned runs. The biggest one is against San Diego, where they just kept him out there. They lost 21-0 on May 10th. He gave up 12 of those runs, and that's where the majority of his ERA is coming from. Obviously, he's been a little bit better since then, but he has not hit double-digit fantasy points. That's probably where it's like a big if. Pitching-wise, maybe a little bit of Ciccone, but again, he's not that good at home. So if you want to go bats on each side, I think Colorado bats are going to be very under-owned today, especially on an early 3-game slate. You could look at Bernabel, who had his first home run on Sunday. Obviously, Hunter Goodman, I believe he sat out on Sunday, batting .294 against righties this year with 12 bombs. Mickey Moniak, batting .283 with 15 home runs. I like him as well if I were to go in that direction. Now, again, we've got the trade deadline come Thursday. We've already seen some trades this weekend and even prior to this. So some of these could be traded. Like Colorado obviously makes a ton of sense to trade all of their guys because historically they're going to be the worst team in baseball at the end of the season, most likely. They don't got a lot going for them right now. They already traded McMahon. I could see them trading other people here. So if we go Cleveland bats against Blaylock, they've never seen him before, but against righties this year, Stephen Kwan, batting .300 with 9 bombs. I would absolutely get him in there anytime he's facing a righty. I'm still going to go J-Ram. He's batting .280 with 17 home runs, but he is better against lefties. He does hit lefties better, whatever. So those are my top 2 right off the bat. And if I'm going a third one, maybe Daniel Schneemann. I don't know if he will be in there, but he could be a cheaper infield option for you. So pitching-wise, I'm probably off of them and going to the last game, Arizona at Detroit. Casey Mize versus Erod. So Casey Mize coming in, 3.40 ERA, coming off kind of two bad starts. One was against Pittsburgh. This is where I'll tell you we're different than other providers. Right there, I had him against Pittsburgh. He gave up 10 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 5 strikeouts, 4.4 fantasy points. Obviously not enough. We look at splits-wise. When Casey Mize pitches at home, he's slightly better at 323. He is going up against Arizona. Arizona, they do hit righties better. So bear that in mind. You got Erod coming in, facing his former team, 5.5 ERA. You know, the value-wise hasn't been there really since June 23rd. So it's kind of something to look at. You look at splits. He has not faced Detroit this year. When he pitches on the road this year, he does have a 5.61 ERA. So that obviously scares me a little bit. That's kind of where we could go if we're trying to figure out. And it's not 100% confirmed that it is Casey Mize, but that's where I would look at there. So if I'm looking at hitters in this game, and let's say you don't want to go, but Detroit bats I'm looking at Torkelson. I'm looking at Riley Green. I'm looking at Glaber, who had a home run on Sunday as well. Arizona bats against, if it is in fact Casey Mize, Ketel Marte if he doesn't get traded, Corbin Carroll, which he should be good. I want to say Suarez, but Suarez is going to get traded. I just don't know if it's going to be today. Those would be my top 3. If you want to get a cheaper option for Arizona, Gurriel Jr., but his name is also in the trade atmosphere, we could call it. And then just depends. Like, you could get McCarthy in there. I don't know if he will get in there, but I mean, depending on if someone gets traded, they could be in there as well. So pitching wise, honestly, I don't really like, maybe Casey Mize a little bit for tournaments, but the ones I'm not looking at, probably not looking at Blaylock, probably not looking at Erod maybe tournaments just because everyone's going to be on Detroit. And again, just like what we saw with the Yankees against Wheeler, you get a little bit of leverage there, but you're not getting much out of him with near his 6 ERA. So that's your early slate done. We are now going to cover the 12-game main slate. We got Tampa Bay at the Yankees, Drew Rasmussen. I believe Fried is getting pushed back, and it should be Cam Schlittler. Let's see if it has been, in fact, moved yet or not. Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a good start there against Toronto. 4.6, had 6 runs, 4 of them earned, 3 walks, 3 Ks. It's been a couple, like he had a blister, and then he left. I think it's going to be Schlittler, so we're going to go with that. Maybe it will be changed, but Baseball Savant has Schlittler up. He's obviously never faced him before, so if we can get him in here, let's see. 7,600, be a cheap option. Tampa Bay, obviously not a very good team, but the Yankees are reeling right now. Drew Rasmussen in his career has had success against the Yankees. 35 plate appearances, 129 batting average, so it's there. Drew Rasmussen coming in, 2.93 ERA. He's been very good. Has not hit value for a while, though. 6.25 is when he hit 20-plus fantasy points. He has faced the Yankees once this year, 5.2 innings, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 7 Ks. Did get 21.2 against them, so they do strike out less at home, okay? When Rasmussen pitches on the road, he does have a worse ERA. So we'll see that. I think both of these pitchers are probably only tournament option for me. And that's kind of the direction I would go there. I don't trust either for cash, just because like the Yankees offense, when they are clicking, they are good. They're obviously without Aaron Judge for an extended period of time. But yeah, DraftKings is wrong. It looks like it's Schlittler coming up. So if we're going Tampa Bay bats against righties this year, I would go Junior Caminero. I would go Jonathan Aranda. And the third one's probably Yandy Diaz. Yankees bats against Rasmussen. No one has a home run, but who I'd go in this one, I'd go Bellinger. I'd go Trent Grisham because he most likely will be leading off. I'm kind of looking at Ryan McMahon to get his home run in Yankee Stadium here at the short porch. I don't mind him. It just depends on the lineup that comes out. I think McMahon's probably going to be that starter. Ahmed Rosario is now on the team, so he could be a cheap option if you're trying to get a full stack there with cheaper guys in there. So that's what I would look at there. I do like both pitchers, but I think both are tournament only. I just do not trust them enough in cash. And we look like, so far, these first 6 games, weather should not be a concern. So now we go into Cincy. We got Yamamoto versus Chase Burns. Now, obviously, the wind is blowing out of there. Yamamoto makes the most amount of sense. Burns has struggled this year. but this ballpark scares me. I think both pitchers are probably tournament only. I think Burns is tournament only because he's facing the Dodgers offense. Yamamoto is tournament only because he's in this ballpark where the wind is blowing out, and he could have a bad game. He's had bad games this year. So I think both pitchers strictly tournaments just because of the ballpark, the atmosphere, and all the weather factors that go into it. So we look at Dodgers. Obviously, you've never faced him before, but against righties this year, they do pretty good. I would look at Freddie Freeman. Will Smith is batting .333 with 10 bombs. Honestly, probably Andy Pages batting .282 with 16 home runs. He does hit lefties better, but still batting .282, which is about 30 to 40 points above league average. Cincy, really haven't seen him. They haven't done anything against him. But against right-handed pitching, let's just say he has a bad game. Let's say it's this ballpark here and the wind is blowing out. I'm looking at Ellie, who's batting .307 with 13 home runs. I'm looking at Noel V. Marte batting .318 with 6 home runs. Matt McClain, .221 with 9. Spencer Steer, Will Benson, probably another one. You could go with TJ Friedel as well. I think this is going to be one of those where I will have multiple different Cincinnati stacks because they do hit righties better. Everyone's going to be on Yamamoto. I'm going to play the ballpark factor angle here, and I'm going to go different stats. I'm going to go different stacks with Cincy as well. I will have a little bit of exposure to Yamamoto in tournaments, maybe Burns because his ownership should be low, but I'm scared. That Dodgers offense obviously is very, very good. Philly at the White Sox, they are the next game going up. Again, the wind is blowing out here. Got a lot to go. We got Christopher Sanchez versus Davis Martin. Obviously, Sanchez is a stud. He's averaging 21.9. He is expensive. He's $10,500, but he's got a fantastic matchup here against the White Sox. So, obviously, the White Sox are a very bad ball team. In his career, he's only faced him 12 at-bats, so that's not much, but he's coming off 46 fantasy points against Boston. We took him in that game because Boston was the team that struck out at the time, I think it was 30, or were they second? Maybe Boston was third overall. Strikeout-wise, they are still third in strikeouts over 9 a game. So he had a really good game there. He does get the White Sox. Splits-wise, he has obviously not faced them this year. When he pitches on the road, he does have a .204, so it's really good. The weather is a concern, like the wind is blowing out, but I'd rather focus on Sanchez. And then my main focus would be on the Philly bats over Martin and the White Sox bats. So what I would look at in that game, Bryce Harper, obviously. Trey Turner. We got Kyle Schwab. You know that. They haven't faced Martin. Kepler doesn't count. It's 2 at-bats. Yeah, but you could look at – I would look at JT Realmuto. He does smash righties this year for some reason a little bit better. You could look at Bryson Stott. He didn't play on Sunday. Maybe he starts here. And then you've got your Harper. You've got your – like the main guys, Turner, Castellanos. But if you want a cheap Philly stack here, Marsh, Kepler, Sosa, Rojas could all be cheaper options here for your stack. But I'm going a full Philly stack, and I'm going Christopher Sanchez is one of my favorite pitchers for the day. I'm not looking at the White Sox. I'm not looking at Davis Martin. I don't trust them at all. Next game, we got Boston at Minnesota. You got Simeon Woods Richardson versus Mr. Dick Fitz. So neither of them are really doing what I want. Obviously, Boston strikes out the third most, so SWR makes a little bit of sense. Splits-wise, he has not faced them this year, and when he pitches at home, he does have a 3.12 ERA. So you could look at him. I'm trying to see what his numbers look like against. So it's not been confirmed that it's SWR, but it should be. For tournaments, maybe. You look at game logs. Not really going 5 innings the past couple of games. That does scare me. He's not getting the fantasy points the last 2, but he did have success against the Cubs, success against Seattle. So he could be a sneaky option at 6,600. I don't mind him if it is in fact him. Mr. Richard Fitz here did have a good game against Colorado. You were supposed to. Comes in with a 5 ERA, almost a 5 ERA. Obviously, he's only faced 17 plate appearances against the Twins. They have reeled a little bit lower here. I think both of these pitchers may be good options for tournaments. Obviously, not cash. When Fitz is on the road, he does have a 3.8 ERA, so he has been better than at home. So they make sense. But if we're looking at bats, let's take a look at bats on both sides. Let's say we're not going either pitcher. Let's go bats. Who are we going to look at? Depending. But if we look at this, they really haven't seen much, but Bregman does have a home run in 5 at-bats. So you could look at him. If I were stacking it, probably Bregman, who's got double digits against righties. Rafaela, batting 281. Wilyer Abreu's another one. Jarren Duran, but his name has been in the trade rumor, so it's definitely something to look at. The other one might be Carlos Narvaez. With the way Boston's kind of sticking in it, at first we thought, as I say that, Bregman just hit a 2-run home run. But as I say that, Boston, like early on, I thought maybe they'd be trading people away, but they're sticking into this division the way the Yankees have struggled and are moving down. So I think they're going to be buyers. So I don't think any of these are, at the moment, names that might get traded except for Duran. So we'll definitely see about that. Minnesota against Fitz, no one has a home run. Against righties, not as well. Maybe Trevor Larnach we're looking at. Ty France, Cody Clemens, Buxton I would look at. We got to use him while he's still healthy. Maybe a Carlos Correa if we're stacking there. But I think if it is SWR, I don't mind either pitcher for tournaments. But that is probably where I'm at in this one. Then we got the Cubs at Milwaukee, battle of the first and second place for the division. Mizorowski versus Matt Boyd. I think both are in great spots. Honestly, I'm not looking at bats right now. Through 10,000 sims, none of them jump out to me as much as I thought they would. So I am going to avoid the bats, and I'm going to go both pitchers. Mizorowski obviously has a little bit more upside. He's averaging 21.6, whereas Boyd's averaging 19.7. But you are saving 2,300 if you go with Boyd. So looking at that, I like both pitchers. I think both pitchers are cash in tournaments. I'm now looking at bats right now. Now, after 20,000 sims, maybe we update that, and that is where our simulations and matchup tool will all come into play. So Atlanta versus Kansas City is the next game. It is not confirmed that it's Rich Hill, but he did pitch his last game. Came in at 97 years old, 6.45 fantasy points against the Cubs, 5 innings, only gave up 1 earned run, only 1 K. Did go, deep into the game, okay. But it's not been confirmed that it is him yet, and that does scare me because I'd rather take the Braves. And then you do have Spencer Strider. Now, this is in Kansas City. It is a pitcher's ballpark. It's a massive ballpark. In his career, 18 plate appearances, 44.4 K percentage against the Royals, 250 batting average. So it's not much. Splits-wise, you look at him when he pitches on the road this year, 455. So he has been worse on the road, but this is a pitcher's ballpark. I'm okay with that. If I'm looking at if it is in fact Rich Hill and I'm looking at bats, I'm probably going to be looking at a Matt Olson, a Ronald Acuna against a lefty, Ozzie Albies I'm looking at. Eli White could be in there. It just depends. Kansas City bats against Strider. Obviously Bobby Witt Jr., Maikel Garcia, who is on a tear. I've heard his name in trade rumors, so we'll see with how bad the Royals have been this year. Vinny Pasquantino, Jack Caglione, I could see all of these guys. It just really depends on what they're going to get. Pitching-wise, if I were to take one, it would be Strider, but there's just other pitching options. I don't know if we even have to take pitching in the Atlanta-Kansas City game. And I apologize if you can hear my 1-year-old. He finally learned that he can scream, and his voice is very loud, so he uses it all the time now. All of the time. Okay, so it's not been confirmed, but it should be his time in the rotation. Edward Cabrera versus Andrew Palante. Looking at this, Cabrera, we've used him before this year. We used him against San Diego because San Diego, it was one of those where he was cheap enough for me at 8,500. 23.15 was perfect for us last week. And he's had some good games here against some of these teams. Splits-wise, going up against St. Louis, I see this, and I'm looking. When he is on the road, he does have a 4.35 ERA. So I don't mind Cabrera. Some of the Cardinals guys could get traded. Obviously, it would be a huge bump if they got traded before the lineup locks, and then Edward Cabrera could be even better. Then you got Andre. Comes in with almost a 5 ERA. We have not used him at all this year. Or we did use him against Pittsburgh because they're so bad, and it worked out for us. But other than that, we have not used him. We've usually stacked against him. So looking at that, when he pitches at home, he does have a 5 ERA, which is very high. So I would be looking at Miami bats still. I'd be looking at Kyle Stowers. I'd be looking at Agustin Ramirez. I'd be looking at we can look at it. It just depends. But, Kyle Stowers makes a ton of sense. Him and Agustin Ramirez makes sense. Jesus Sanchez, I don't mind. And then depending of the lineup that comes out, there's always Xavier Edwards, who's batting over 300, Liam Hicks batting 292, Hernandez had a home run yesterday, I believe. A full, like, you want to get crazy? I do not mind a full stack here of a full stack of Miami if you want to get a little bit crazy here. I don't mind that whatsoever. Next game, Washington at Houston. Obviously, Houston's started off very slow. I think they started off slow last year, and now they're back. They're back to being who we thought they were. Brad Lord versus to be announced. It's not 100% confirmed for Amber Valdez. I don't know why Valdez comes in as a relief pitcher when he started 20 games this year. I don't know what they're doing. It's stupid that they're doing that. But when he pitches at home, he's got a 1.66. He has been very good. Washington's always a team that seems like they're going to be out of it and trade their guys. And then you got Brad Lord. Comes in 3.39 ERA. The innings, he's not going 5, so you're not expecting that. You're probably not using that. I would just 100%, we're looking at bats on both sides. Or bats for Houston anyway. I'm not looking at Brad Lord whatsoever. He's not going deep into game enough for me to want to pay $5,500 for him. So if I'm looking at Houston bats against Lord, they've never seen him before, but against right-handed pitching, I would look at Christian Walker. I would look at Bryce Matthew if he gets in there. He did sit on Sunday. He's kind of struggling right now, but he's one I would look at. I would look at Cam Smith, Jose Altuve, maybe Yonder Diaz as well. If you want to go against Valdez, like Josh Bell and DeYoung have home runs, so does Nate Lowe and Ahmed Rosario's on the Yankees. So Josh Bell is always an interesting option. C.J. Abrams, I think he had a home run on Sunday. He's batting .288 with multiple home runs against lefties. I would look at him. I would look at James Wood. I would look at, if he is in there, Alex Call. I do not mind him whatsoever. If I am taking a pitcher, it is Valdez. It is not Brad Lord. Texas at the Angels is the next game. You got DeGrom versus, it should be Kochanowicz, but I think DeGrom just faced them, right? No, he faced the Athletics that we took. He did struggle against the Angels, so I did take him against the Angels. 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks, got us only 11.05. That was at LA. It is back in LA again. Splits-wise, he's faced them once, and it wasn't ideal. I think people are going to see that. I still want to pay up for him. When he pitches on the road, he's got a 2.75, still great. Game log-wise, 6 innings the past couple of games. Against the Angels, he went 5, which was his lowest, but he had 95 pitches in 5 innings. So if he could hold off the pitches, he's in a great spot. I'm going back to the well with Jacob deGrom. Call me crazy, but that's where I'm going. And then you got Jack. It's not confirmed, but he did just face them on July 10th. 10.6 fantasy, negative 10.6. That's exactly what I would look at. So that's kind of what I would be looking at. I would be looking at 100% Texas bats and DeGrom. So I would be looking at Seager. I would be looking at Simeon, who's been great for us when we've used him. I would look at Wyatt Langford. Adolis Garcia is probably another one. Second way, if let's say we're going against DeGrom because you think he's going to struggle again, Nido, Trout, Ward, my top 3. A couple others. Joe Adell's been absolutely on fire when we've used him this year. You come down a little bit further, I do not mind Logan O'Hoppe. I don't know if it'll be him or Darno, but I wouldn't mind either of them. Just depends on which starter it will be for the Angels backstop. So we move to the Mets at San Diego. We've got Frankie Montas versus Dylan Cease. Cease's name has been up there in trade rumors. And then Montas comes in. He's averaging 13.8. We have used him 1 start this year, and that was against Kansas City. Put up 20.85. Did come back with 18.75 against the Angels. They're a bad team. That's great. But he's going up against San Diego. When he is on the road, he's got a 7 ERA in 2 starts. So not very many starts. It's not a lot. But we like to take San Diego normally against righty pitchers. And then you got Cease, who's looked a little bit different this year. In his career, 65 plate appearances against the Mets, a 279 batting average, 29.2 fantasy points. But he is coming off a bad start against Miami. We did take him. He only gave up 2 earned runs, only went 5 innings, but had 3 walks, so that really killed the fantasy points there at 1305, and he was 9,700. They have dropped him down a little bit. He has not faced the Mets this year. This is a pitcher's ballpark. When he pitches at home, he does have a 3.48, so he is just better at home. So if I'm taking a pitcher, it's probably going to be Cease. I don't even think we'd have to think about that too hard. But it would be Dylan Cease for me. I don't trust Montas. You could throw Montas in tournaments, but I probably won't. But Cease has a 3-10 record. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. Mets against Cease, if you're going against him, like Lindor sees it well. I think he's 3 for 12 with, let's see. He's 4 for 12. 3 of those hits are home runs. Pete Alonso has a home run, and Juan Soto has a home run against him. Juan Soto coming back to where he was for a couple of seasons. So if you are going against Cease, like Pete Alonso, Lindor, Juan Soto, I like those 3. If we're going San Diego bats against Montas, no one has a home run somehow. But against righties, you can see like Machado batting over 300, Tatis with 15 home runs batting 285. Those are my top 2. If you want a third one, Luis Ariz is going to get on base. He's not going to get you extra base hits, but he will get you on, most likely will get on base. So I, like both pitchers for tournaments I'm okay with, but I'm probably avoiding them. There's just other pitching options today. Pittsburgh at San Francisco, Mitch Keller, whose name has been thrown out there to get traded, and we do not know who the pitcher for San Francisco is. And this is kind of how it is. Really hard to tell. I don't mind Mitch Keller for tournaments, going up against San Francisco in this ballpark, but this is what San Francisco does. If you've been with us since last year, sometimes it's a few hours before first pitch, then we figure out who's starting. So we don't know. We can't go with which bats because I don't know if it's a righty or lefty. So I'm okay with Mitch Keller, but we can't really go into that game much at all. Through 10,000 sims, it doesn't have up there, but once it has been confirmed, all the pitchers, we do update the simulations, we do update all the projections. Then Seattle at the Athletics, the final game, Luis Castillo versus JP Sears. It's not been confirmed for either of these pitchers yet, but Castillo, this ballpark does scare me because the ball flies out of here. He's already faced him once this year, 5 innings, 4 Ks, only got 11.6. I think that was in Sacramento, right? Let's see. No, it was the first game of the year, so you're always like, you never know. Because the first game of the year was in March. He's obviously gotten better since then. Kind of up and down. He's got 3.30 ERA, over 100 strikeouts. But the whip, it's up there. And this ballpark does scare me because the ball, it's a minor league ballpark. Then you got JP Sears, almost a 5 ERA. Splits-wise, he's faced Seattle once this year. Only gave up 2 earned runs. Actually had a really good game, 22 fantasy points. But you look at his splits when he pitches at home this year, a 5.61 because the ball just absolutely flies out of this ballpark. 21.45 is what he's coming off against Texas. His last start at home, he had 14.85, but he did have 26.5 against San Francisco. So I don't mind him. But pitching-wise, it's up there. I think both pitchers are probably tournament only for me. Batting-wise, who I'm looking for if they don't get traded. Cal Raleigh, obviously, we love to see Cal Raleigh. I think he hits lefties way better than righties. I would look at him. I would look at Brent Rooker. Or let's just go Seattle first. I would look at him, Arozarena, Josh Naylor. I would look at Polanco, Dylan Moore I'm okay with. If I'm going the Athletics bats, Nick Kurtz out Sunday. What happened? He had too many bases on Friday. I mean, he had 76 fantasy points on Friday. That's wild. That is wild. Lower body soreness and fatigue, yeah, from putting the team on his back on Friday night. If he is back in, I obviously love him, but I don't know if he will be. So athletic-wise, Rooker, Soderstrom, Lawrence Butler, I would take those guys. So I think both pitchers in this game, probably only tournament options at this point, but we will take what we can get. And there you have it. That is the breakdown of the early slate and the main slate. It is now time to do our matchup tool. These are all of the batters that have a 10, and you can find it under the MLB tab right here. All the batters have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating for your 15-game Monday. Number 1, Byron Buxton. Number 2 is Kyle Schwarber. 3 is Jose Ramirez. 4, George Springer. 5 is Vladdy. 6 is Matt Olson. 7 is Nolan Jones. 8, Stephen Kwan. 9, Addison Barger. 10, Jose Altuve. 11, Alejandro Kirk. 12, Luis Ariz. And 13, Victor Caratini. So we have 13 batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. The record is 38, so we are not anywhere close to that. But nonetheless, it is still a good option. And you can find all those, like I said, under the MLB tab. And you can find everything, all sports, for $10 for the week, $30 for the month. So that is definitely what we are looking at in that situation. So then we're going to do our pitches be crazy. So these are what it is these are the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most against the pitchers going against them. Number 1, Slade Ciccone versus Colorado. The Rockies strike out 9.68 times per game, 10.23 on the road. Number 2 is Jacob deGrom at the Angels, who he did struggle against last time. But 9.67 times per game, the Angels are striking out. At home, 9.54. Simeon Woods Richardson, if he is in fact the starter against Boston. Boston strikes out 9.07 times per game, 10.25 on the road. Number 4 is JP Sears versus Seattle. Seattle strikes out 8.87 times per game, 8.81 on the road. And number 5 is Erod at Detroit. Detroit strikes out 8.80 times per game, 8.55 at home. Then we do our bases. So we are looking, and you can either do 2+ bases here. You can do 1 hit run RBI, 1+ RBI, 1+ hit, whatever you do. But these are some of our favorite ones. This is our Makin Bacon segment, batter edition. Ones I'm looking at, number 1, Byron Buxton. And these are all ones I think could get 2+ bases, or you could parlay it differently. I wouldn't parlay all these together, but you can put some of them together. Byron Buxton. Number 2 is George Springer. Number 3 is Vladdy. Number 4 is Luis Ariz. 5 is Addison Barger. 6 is Alejandro Kirk. 7, Jose Ramirez. 8, Kyle Schwarber. 9, Stephen Kwan. And finally, 10, we've got Royce Lewis versus Dick Fitz. So those are the 10 batters I think could get you 2+ bases. Again, we're not going to hit all of them. You're not going to do a 10 out of 10 parlay. I get that. But those are the ones that are in great matchups. The weather should hold off. The wind is blowing out. Righty-lefty matchup, batter splits. We put it all through simulations. And then pitching, pitchers, and then you can parlay some of these together, or you could alt some of the strikeouts. But Dylan Cease versus the Mets, if you could find a line for 5+ strikeouts, I would look at him. Number 2, Jacob Mizorowski versus the Cubs. 6+ strikeouts I'm comfortable with. Maybe go down to 5. It's up to you. Chase Burns versus the Dodgers. Very iffy on this one, the way the weather's going. But if you could find 5+ strikeouts, I'm okay with that. With the stuff that he has, it just will depend if he gets lit up early, kind of like what we saw with Garrett Crochet on Saturday against the Dodgers. Christopher Sanchez versus the White Sox. 6+ to 7+ strikeouts I'm okay with. Slade Ciccone versus the Rockies, 5 to 6+ strikeouts I'm okay with. Drew Rasmussen versus the Yankees, 5+ strikeouts. And Cam Schlittler against the Rays, 5+ strikeouts as well. So that's what we've got. That is your Monday, 15 games. We've got the early slate, the main slate, and everything else in between. If you need to see a little bit more, if this is great, if this is all you needed, that's awesome. If you can watch this a couple of times through, that would be also pretty good. It would help us out. If you want to sign up, $10 a week helps out the channel as well. Sharing these videos, commenting, engaging on these videos, absolutely free for you. Don't forget the keyword. The keyword for today is blues, because it is Monday. We've got the Monday blues. The majority of us watching probably had to go back to work today. So good luck today. Sports betting, DFS, whatever you're doing. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Stay cool, stay hydrated. Good luck. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.